we were at my parents' apartment, and my parents were moving. So their place was empty. Okay? Empty. They were sitting there eating something. They were eating some, I don't know, something from takeout. And my mother said, look at your father, look at your father. He's starting to act strange. I said, okay, he's starting to act strange. All right, so I'm looking at him. He's repeating himself. And I've told you already my father's diabetic. So he's repeating himself, but his arms are moving in a funny way. And my mother says, look at him. Look at how he's flailing his arms. Okay, all right. What do you think is wrong with him? I don't know. She says, I'm going to call 911. Okay, but it's that serious. She knows him like the back of her hand, so she knows something is going on. So I look at him. I look at what he's eating. So I say to her, what do you think is wrong with him? She says, I don't know, and I've told you all he's diabetic. So my guess is his blood sugar done gone up, because I'm looking at what he's eating. That's the first thing. I mean, and when we talk about kitchen medicine, you can always pull back and say everything you do in the kitchen is either medicinal or it's going to kill somebody, right? One or the other. Everything you do in the kitchen is either healing or it has the possibility of harming. Let's just put it like that, the possibility of, okay? So I said to him, Daddy, could you put down the cherry juice? That was the first thing, so he put that down. So I said, what do you have in the house? And like I told you, my parents said nothing. Okay, they don't have anything in the house. So I look at Dominique, and he's like, I think I'll go get a blood sugar reader. Okay, we'll go get a blood sugar reader. And I say, could you go and get some cinnamon, please? Now, downstairs, there's no health food store. We lived in Left Rack City, right? So you just have to go downstairs and get what you can get. But cinnamon is the first herb that came to me. So Dominique said, okay, fine. So Dominique goes, gets the blood pressure reader, blood sugar reader, and brings the cinnamon. All right, fine. We read the blood sugar, it's 152. Not good, So we take the powdered cinnamon, or I take a teaspoon of it, and I just put it in tap water, because we don't have anything, right? I think I put it in some kind of plastic cup or whatever, and I said a quick prayer over that. We gave him that to drink. In 40 minutes, the blood sugar was down to 90. He was not flailing his arms. He was talking completely normal. And that's when I realized that cinnamon is one of the most powerful allies that we could have. It was a powerful teaching for me. As I wrote about this on my blog, I said what could have been a trip to 911 ended up a trip to the supermarket. So I love cinnamon for that. All right. So it's great to just have that around. Now, that's one of the more interesting, my teacher also had a very funny teaching about cinnamon, about a boy who had flu-like symptoms for about, I don't know, maybe it was a week, diarrhea, weakness, all kind of vomiting, craziness, right? She gave him 1 cup of cinnamon tea, not even an infusion. She said an hour later that boy was in her garden helping, and the father came and, was ready to whoop that boy because he was like, you haven't been sick this whole week. The boy had been sick, but the cinnamon just, knocked out whatever the problem was. All right? So now, why cinnamon can do all that? Sometimes it's the whys elude me. The hows, the whys, but it just does. Okay? So cinnamon is something great to take for stimulating digestion, right? Cinnamon is warming. It helps to relieve gas. And like I told you, it does magic when it comes to balancing blood sugar.